York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time Show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And guess what, guys? It's that time of the year when we talk about all of our hopes and aspirations and things to come for the New York Knicks right before this season starts. And before this show, we have a very special guest who came to talk with us. But before we introduce the special guest, I'm going to introduce you to my regulars. First and foremost, it is Mr. NBA economy himself, my guy Fritz Alessandro. What's going on, Fritz?
Hey, what's up? What's going on?
And of course, you already know, man, it's posting and toasting contributor, ESPN contributor, Bleacher Report contributor, my man, Lee Escobedo, the Latin assassin. What's good, Lee?
What's good, Jay Ellis? Fritz, great to have Dexter here since the last time he was on the pod. New faces. We brought on Be the Motivator, brought in Phil Porto into the fold, and I want to give a special shout out because I know he's too humble to do it. My main Fritz Alexander has been stepping the game up. Check out the NBA Economy Show and bring those X&O ball knowledge here to the KOT. Love that we said the best mod in the game is now a part of a panel.
Yeah, man, really, really useful to have some guy who kind of understands like a little bit more about the ins and outs of the caps and stuff like that. So really, really, really grateful to have Fritz here. Started out as kind of just like interning and ended up being on the show. So shout out to Fritz.
Here he is, my man.
Yeah, and of course, man, you already know this guy. I call this guy the Arsenio Hall of Knicks content creation, right? Because you're always bringing in other Knick content creators. Sports anchor for NY Sports. You already know his show, NY Got Game. He does great work there. If you've been keeping up with this show, NY Got Game, man, the content is contenting, man. Dexter, man, I gotta salute you. Content is getting better and better as time goes on. Doing an amazing
job. Y'all too, man. It's steel sharpens steel. Everybody's trying to get better, and and I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And you have, I always say this, the Arsenio Hall of Knicks content creators. That's actually a nickname I like, man. I like that. I like that because you got to be old enough to know who Arsenio Hall was and know his impact. You know what I mean? Like if you know his impact, especially on like Black television culture, then you know. If you know, you know. I'll put it like that. If you know, you know.
Who? Yeah, Lee know.
Lee's up on a lot of stuff in culture, literature. Lee and I have had like great conversations, music, great conversations about that. So yeah, Lee knows. Lee knows.
Yeah, Lee absolutely knows. And if you got a little bit of gray hair, you might know too. All right. But really good to have you back here, Dexter, to talk Knicks basketball. One of our favorite guests we have on this show. And we're gonna get to it though. We're gonna get to it. So the Knicks, they've been they've only lost one game in this preseason game.
Yep.
We've had our starters play combining like 5 quarters of basketball together. We've seen a few things. We've seen Brogdon retire. We've seen Kolek have a game that we didn't expect. We've seen Diawara start. We've seen it all. So my first question to you guys, and especially Dexter, because he's the guest here. What did the Knicks preseason games teach you so far? Did you take anything from those games?
Yeah, it's funny. I love this question because I asked this to Stephen Bondi the other night after the last preseason game. Yeah, I asked him the same question. I'm like, what did we learn from all of this? And Steph said to me that he thought it was incomplete, his grade for the Knicks preseason. I understood where he was coming from on that. I think there are things, though, we did get to see that I thought was interesting. And I had done this film breakdown with my co-host Brian Fonseca after the first couple of games, and you saw some of the things about what this offense could be. I don't think we saw everything, right, Jay Ellis? But I think we saw what they could be in terms of how they can move with pace, how guys could get easier shots. I think one player that thrived a lot in the offense for me watching was Mikal Bridges. I thought Mikal Bridges I think Mikal Bridges is going to have a good season. I thought he's a guy that could thrive in this Mike Brown system. From the jump, I've said that. I think you saw Mikal Bridges play just differently. There are shots that are easier for him. he is also going to the basket a little bit more, which we did not see last year. He was always fading away in shots. I know that frustrated a lot of Knicks fans and even people covering the team. So I think that was a good thing. I think we saw some good actions for Jalen Brunson, which I think he's going to get more comfortable in with the ball of his hands or playing off the ball. There were some good plays out of bounds plays that I really liked with Jalen Brunson. So I thought that was good. Defensively, I felt like the biggest thing we saw was just seeing extended time of Mitch at the 5 and Cat at the 4.
Yeah.
And how that's going to look. And that looks beneficial, I think, for the team. I actually think this team is going to be better defensively than some people think. I think we all know that championship teams usually have to be a top 12 defense.
Yeah.
I think that they can be that. It wouldn't shock me if the Knicks were somewhere between 8 and 10. I think sometimes we forget Mike Brown's calling card is actually defense. He's got 2 really elite wing defenders. Mitchell Robinson. This all depends on Mitchell Robinson to me, though. If Mitchell Robinson is healthy. And Lee, I've seen you tweet about this, about him being the most important Knick outside of Jalen Brunson.
Right.
I agree. I think he's that impactful in the variance for the Knicks, particularly on the defensive end. And his importance offensively. I know he's not the most skilled offensive player, but because he keeps possessions alive, that whole thing. We saw a little bit in the preseason. Now, I know the first couple of games were against the Sixers. So we'll take that as it may. And this is where the preseason stuff is hard to evaluate because there's just little things you've seen. But I think overall, I liked what I think the offense could be. I like that it looks a lot different than it did under Tibbs. I thought this offense needed to evolve. I thought you need to see different things in sets. We're seeing a lot of dribble handoffs. We're seeing some pin down action. We're seeing, good out of bounds play where you're seeing like double, triple screens that guys are coming off of. The execution wasn't always there, and you didn't see a high amount of minutes. And I do think this will be a work in progress. But I think the biggest thing you should take away if you're a Knicks fan from this preseason is 1, the offense is going to look different, which is a good thing. 2, the lineups will look different and there'll be more diversity in it, which I also think is a good thing for this team. I don't think people should expect them to come out the gate and be humming offensively. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think over time, the bones of what this offense could be and the diversity and flexibility of it could be really good for this Knicks team.
Agree. I feel like we produced just a lot of open shots. That was one of the things I realized. Like a lot of the off-ball movement really produced a lot of open shots. And although we didn't make all those open shots, just the fact that we're getting them makes me confident that eventually those shots are going to start to go down. I feel like the pace of the Knicks still needs work. We preach pace, but I still feel like we had some of the slowest pace in the preseason, even though they
were 31st. They were 31st in pace in preseason.
Well, there you go.
I wouldn't put too much stock into that because you got to remember how much minutes went to guys that didn't make the team, that aren't going to play major minutes. I think they're working to the pace they want to play. I don't think they'll be that low during the season. I think they will play a lot faster. But like I said, I think it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. It wouldn't shock me if and I'll be looking at the data if in the first week or so, they're like in the 20s in pace. And maybe they get up to the low teens, by the end of the first month. That wouldn't shock me. I think it's going to take some time. But here's the thing, Jay Ellis, you said it, you hit the nail on the head. I think people sometimes, I've been saying this on my show, it's not just about moving fast up and down the court. It's about how you move the ball, even within the half court, right? That's part of pace, right? And you said they're creating a lot of open shots. If you're creating a lot more open shots and the ball is moving, that's like the most important thing. As you get the rhythm with your teammates in different places, know where it's supposed to be, reading, reacting, then that pace is going to pick up. So I think, I wouldn't put too much stock into the Knicks being 31st in pace in the preseason. If you're seeing that by the time we get to mid-December, late December by Christmas, then I might be a little concerned, but I wouldn't put too much into that.
I feel you. I mean, listen, there was a game where Malcolm Brogdon just played a lot of minutes, and he definitely didn't have a lot of pace. And I think he retired because he realized he didn't have a lot of pace. We'll get to that later. But I think it will pick up. I still have questions about where we end up in pace, because I'm still not sure if we have the personnel outside of Mikal to really maybe Mikal, Josh Hart, and McBride. I feel like are the guys who are like the pace guys. Brunson, not notoriously known as a pace guy. Cat, not notoriously known as a pace guy. I'm not sure if those guys will have the pace, but to me, I have my eye on that to see if the pace of the game picks up full time as the years go on, for sure. Shout out Lee. Actually, I want to Lee. What do you think, man? What have you taken from this preseason? I want to get your takes a little bit.
I think that it's apparent Leon Rose has really targeted high IQ guys. The type of offense that we were able to run under Tom Thibodeau initially with that first shell of a roster he inherited that had IQ and Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett playing a lot of minutes. The IQ wasn't there yet. They were still developing and understanding offensive systems within the NBA. This team was able to thrive without any plays being ran because everyone has a high IQ to be able to formulate that within a read and react system. And then by game 4, when he started implementing more plays, Dexter named 2 of them, the pistol action, also the double drag screens, and also lots of relocation on the perimeter too. We saw those in the dribble handoffs at the nail using Hukporti or Jemison, Trey Jemison. You saw everyone has a high IQ. Everyone knows how to facilitate within those actions. And I was like, oh, wow. It doesn't really matter what kind of shell of an offense we play to the first 5 or 10 games. We have a type of high IQ veterans and high IQ youngsters too, who can assimilate into whatever system, whether there's only 2, say there's like 2 triggers within a play and everyone else is trying to read and react. We can still thrive in that system. And if we don't, then ISO, Jalen Brunson, once the offense slows down and gets you a bucket, or Karl-Anthony Towns or Mikal Bridges. But I was most impressed with this roster specifically. Leon Rose didn't try to enhance the bench. He also wanted to make sure that everybody was high IQ to transition from a very non-set offense and under Tom Thibodeau to a more experimental offense under Mike Brown. And I left very impressed by the progress.
High IQ. Interesting high IQ, because I feel like there's like one person I feel like on the squad where Knicks fans might fight about his IQ.
I probably know where you're going with that. I have a feeling I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And he's had kind of an up and down preseason. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, it's Clarkson. I'm not. Yep. Sometimes he tends to take shots that aren't the best, but he's also made a lot of nice passes. Underrated passer, I gotta say, underrated passer. But I think when it comes to IQ, he's the only. I feel like he might be this year's campaign for Knicks fans.
Oh man.
And when I say campaign, I mean like there was days when we really loved what campaign was doing, and there's days where we was like, oh my gosh, you really took that shot. Oh, I can't believe you took it. I feel like that's what we're gonna get from Clarkson. We're gonna get the roller coaster ride of emotions from Clarkson, where he wins us some games and frustrates us sometimes.
Yeah, I could see that. I already have sensed that too from the fan base, and media too. I think we're all intrigued to see. Clarkson's gonna have some games where I think it's gonna drive people crazy, but then he's gonna, the 30-pointer off the 30 piece off the bench is coming, and people are gonna be like, man, it's like the best thing you've ever seen. So I think you gotta live and die with what you get from Clarkson. You just gotta hope that for the most part, those games where he's like 4 for 17 or something, and the shot selection is crazy, that those are few and far between. If you have 5 of those in the season, you're like, I might live with it. If the rest of the time he's playing in the flow of the offense, he's good. I thought in the last preseason game, the minutes he had, I thought he played really good in the flow of the offense. I thought he looked pretty good there. You just don't want him. You don't want him to be feeling himself a little too much. You know what I mean? Like Campaign was like that. Campaign started feeling himself, and I'm like, the worst thing for Campaign for me was like if he got 3 shots in a row, because then it's like, man, I don't know. Like, shout out to Campaign, fellow Steelers fan. But Campaign can go hot and cold, and sometimes. Well, hey, Ebony, no booing the Steelers there. I see you. I see you. What are you, a Ravens fan?
Hey, Dexter, I don't root against New York ever.
Oh, okay. All right. So, I'll explain the football thing another time. I used to do the Jets thing, and I decided to not do that anymore. It's a long story.
Okay, pain. It sounds like pain.
It was pain. It was pain.
Yo, Fritz, man, what's going on, Fritz?
Hey, what's going on? The preseason was interesting, but I think what we learned is that these players are multifaceted. We're a talented team. We've seen what they've had the last couple of years, and we're like, do they have more? Do we need to play this way? And we see that there is another way. Like, this team doesn't need to envy other teams. Like, we got stars instead at home. Like, this team has everything it needs to win a championship.
Facts.
And I think the preseason it showed that. We also seen that Mike Brown wasn't going to take over what Tibbs did and just continue the ship in the same direction. We see he to tear it all down. Like, let's start from scratch. Like, how are you going to play defense? How are you going to play offense? We're starting from scratch. We're not even going to start with plays. So I think it was good to see that we're reconsidering everything, and we aren't going to do things just because we've been doing them for so long. We're going to do things because this is the way to win.
Good point. Hey, you know what else too I learned? Mike, he doesn't just talk the talk. He like walks the walk. I remember coming into the season, Lee was saying this, and when Lee was saying it, I agree with him at the time. When he was talking about the starting lineups, we all assumed he was going to go 5 out because of what he does. Like, he has the propensity to like that 5 spot to be a passer or a guy who can shoot and spread the floor. And he took a look at his team. He went through the practices, and he ended up starting Mitch. So it's like we've been wanting people who play to the strengths of the players and not to their own system. And I felt like that was an example of him playing to the strength of the players and not just seeking out a system that's worked for him for a few years. So I feel like him just going to the beat of his own drum and just filling out the players' strengths and weaknesses, I feel like he's already done that in these 4 preseason games.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I was somebody also who assumed he would go 5 out. But the thing is, you got to look at the fact that in Sacramento, he had to go 5 out, right? Because that team didn't really have a lot of good defenders. They didn't really have a top-level wing defender. Right. Keon Ellis probably was their best defender on the perimeter. So they had to maximize the offense as much. I still think that's the job of Mike Brown here, though. He has to maximize this offense, but he didn't try to. I think the way he looked at it was like, okay, I also know that my 2 best offensive players are my 2 worst defensive players. And I understand for some people, that's why they're concerned about this defense. But that's, to me, the impact of Mitchell Robinson. That's, to me, why Mitchell Robinson is the second most important player on this team in terms of not the best player, just important in terms of the team's success to where they can go. Because if Mitchell Robinson's healthy, if Mitchell Robinson plays 28 to 30 minutes a game, right, and they can keep him fresh and he can have the impact on the glass that we know defensively, well, I think he does so much with the 2 wings they have in Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and just how that defense can be raised up. So there's ways I think Mitch can clean up a lot of the mistakes you see from Cat, and then Brunson just being undersized. Because we always know with Brunson, the defense issues are not about his lack of effort. It's just about, he's a small guard. Like, yeah, it's only so much you could do. You know what I mean? There's only so much. So I think you make a good point, Jay Ellis, in that Mike Brown realizes this. He could have said, let me maximize 5 out. Defense be damned. Let's go at it. But I think he values the defense and knows that this team has to be the most balanced they could be in order to win. I think he recognizes that.
Yeah. You know what else, too, I liked about what I've seen in preseason? Like, he prioritized the defense, but you also saw during the games he experimented with 5 out lineups. Like, times when it was Mitch out, when Mitch was sitting down, you would see Deuce with Cat at the 5. You would see Yabusele with the stars and Cat at the 5. So, like, even though he wasn't starting with 5 out, he would throw out lineups that were still 5 out and see how they would do in short spurts and 5-minute spurts just to see how it works. So I appreciate that he's like, all right, this is what I have. This is what's been working so far. But let me experiment with these lineups to see if I can get a 5 out concept somewhere. So even though we don't start with 5 out, we just have the flexibility to play it in spots so we can match up with other teams when we need to match up with other teams.
That's the word. That's the word, Jay Ellis. I use that at the top. It's diversity and flexibility. That's what you want. It doesn't it's not all about who starts. Sometimes it's adjusting in the game, and some different lineups are going to finish. Sometimes you're going to see 5 lineups. Sometimes you're going to see some 3-guard lineups. We saw a lot of that in the preseason with Brunson, Clarkson, and Deuce on the floor. I think that's one of my biggest takeaways is that I think Mike Brown is going to be very diverse with his lineups, very flexible, and that's good because this sounds like I'm shading Tibbs, but I'm not. It's just the exact opposite of what Knicks fans and everybody covering the team saw with Tibbs. You didn't see that flexibility. You didn't see that variety. Now, some people may say, well, last year, Dex, Tibbs didn't have much of a bench to work with. And you'd be right. That's a fair point. I don't disagree with you on that, but there were times I was somebody who called for it in games where I said, okay, you're playing the Wizards. You could give Pacome Dadiet 5 first-half minutes. You know what I mean? You could give Tyler Kolek some minutes just to add something different, just to keep guys fresh. I think you'll see things like that this year. I think you'll see games where Mike Brown is going to play 10 deep. And that's a good thing for this team because the goal is to be fresh and playing the best basketball come April, not, burning people out by February.
Agreed. Hold on a second. Here we go. All right. Shout out to my guy Ryan G, who's in the building. I see you.
Ryan.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
Hey, everyone. What's going on?
What's up, man?
Let's go on to the next conversation. Wait, I don't know if you had anything to add, Ebony, before we move on.
Yeah, I got plenty out of that. Yeah, I've been asking. I got plenty of that. How y'all doing? Good to see that. Good to talk Knicks with you guys. Yeah, I've been hoping and praying. I told you I feel like Meek right now. I used to pray for times like this. We got a coach that, like I mentioned, I've been asking for. It's one of the things I wasn't a Tibbs fan about. Y'all know me on here, never a Tibbs fan. I was on Dexter's show telling never a Tibbs fan. I knew last playoffs would be huge for him, but finally we have a coach that infuses both his system and then his player strengths. He'll take a play which is normally ran with a point guard at the top. He'll put a center at the top just to keep them as the defense honest, and he always keeps his players as weapons. Nobody is specifically like they won't play. They can't play off of Mitch in a Mike Brown system. You can't do it because if you do it, then you give Jalen Brunson an easy shot. You give Cat an easy shot. So I love that about his offense is we doing it as a team because we already know Cat and Jalen Brunson can get their bucket whenever they want to. We've seen it. It just became very repetitive under Tibbs. It was very, okay, this is what they're going to do. This is in crunch time, definitely, this is what they're going to do. Everybody knew what we were going to do. With Mike Brown's system, it's just going to keep it really, really, really unpredictable when you think about it. So I'm excited about that aspect of the thing. And of course, my guy Mitch being able to get lobs. I'm always excited for that. Y'all already know how I feel about my guy. I think he is one of the most important. Second, I'm cool with second, because he does the dirty work. He does allow Cat to be Cat. He allows Mikal he allows the superstars to thrive in their roles. So I'm excited to see Mitch under this system because on both offense and defense, Mike Brown does it as a team. So you don't feel like you yourself have to do a lot. You just have to do your job. I just not have to help hurt my team. So if I rotate in this position and I rotate in this position, it's very simple. He simplifies the game for you where you have to learn the whole game. So it's not going to be pretty once in a while because we still have to learn how to be on the string. But I'm loving what we see right now. He is developing principles, just what he wants, so it becomes muscle memory. And with his offense, there's no stagnation because if the defense does this, there's a counter to the counter to the counter. There's always like an endless offense. It just keeps going and going and going. So if this action doesn't work, then we're gonna hit you with this one and roll into this. We'll do a dribble handoff over here. If you're gonna stop the back door, okay, cool. We'll do a dribble handoff over here off the flare screen type vibes. And I love it. I love it. And if we talking about defense, I'm seeing Cat in them passing lanes. I'm seeing JB move them puppies.
Yeah.
It becomes simple because you're doing it as a team. It's not, it doesn't feel like a lot. Again, I've been talking about team for like 3 seasons. It doesn't feel so like the weight of the shoulder on Jalen, on Mitch, or anybody. They carry it as a team. In the movement, people, I hear about the second ball handler. The pace and space is your second ball handler. That's your second ball handler.
I'm about to go right to that question.
Because
that was my next question, Dancer.
Pace and space. I didn't even see the question, but I was doing it. That was just pace and space is the second. That's the second. Your ball handler, because when you have that, you don't need the ball the air dribbled out the ball. You don't need the do. It just, the movement makes mismatches. I'm excited, y'all. If y'all don't know, I'm super excited for this season.
I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna just say this, so everybody knows here. Like we have Jordan Clarkson here. I was not a big fan of Jordan Clarkson, but he's a Knick now. I back him. I understand why we need a Jordan Clarkson here, because we need shot creation here. I'm accepting Jordan Clarkson here. But for people who follow this channel, knows I have not been a fan of Jordan Clarkson. I have been a fan of Malcolm Brogdon. So when I found out that the Knicks got Malcolm Brogdon, I was hopeful that he was healthy enough to do the things that I know Malcolm Brogdon to do, which is settle down a team, running an offense, and also play off ball at times while not being cone defensively. He's been cut. The space and pace was so fast, he decided that he didn't want to do it anymore, and he paced himself right out, and we didn't even have to wave him. He waved himself. All right.
He paced himself out.
He's like, I respect everything he's done. I've run on him for years on this team. It's just, man, we got him a year too late. But this is why I'm saying this to ask Dexter this question.
Mm-hmm.
Dexter, do you feel like with Malcolm Brogdon gone, do you feel like there's a hole now in that backup point guard role that needs to be filled?
It's a good question. I will say that Malcolm Brogdon retiring was shocking, because literally the day before, this was after the game on Monday. I don't know. Sorry, this week's been so long. Forgetting who the Knicks played their preseason game on Monday. I know they played the Hornets Friday. I don't remember what. Oh, Washington, against Washington. The game where Tyler Kolek had himself quite the game, which was really good with the 20 and 7, no turnovers. Mm-hmm. I was told at that point, like, hey, he's a lock to make the team. So when the news came out the next day that he retired, I was stunned. I thought the Knicks, because of everything you said with Clarkson and McBride in the backcourt, two guys who are not your traditional like primary ball handlers that you would like to steady the team. They needed another ball handler, and I think that's a huge reason they wanted Clarkson on this team. They wanted Brogdon on this team, not Clarkson. Right. It's a huge part. They wanted that veteran leadership. Brogdon, I think, was aware from what I was told that, okay, you're going to be the 10th man. You're not going to play every night. There'll be some nights you don't play, but if needed to be that steady hand in the backcourt to, get some minutes, they'll be fine. If something happened to Jalen Brunson, the Knicks could, have him play a bunch of minutes and they'd be fine. Look, they definitely miss him, Jay Ellis. There's no doubt. They'll definitely miss what he could have brought to the table. It's unfortunate he realized his body couldn't hold up and couldn't do this anymore. That's always unfortunate. But look, Tyler Kolek played all right the last couple. It's preseason. I don't want to go crazy here. It's preseason. I know people in the chat are going to go crazy. In the Kolek Hive, y'all are crazy. But he did play good in that Wizards game. He played all right against the Hornets. He kind of has to be that guy. He is after Brunson, he's their next best ball handler. He is the best playmaker in terms of, he's the best passer on the team. He's the best passer on the team, hands down. Now, can he stop anybody?
No.
I have not seen that yet. What I do remember last year is when he did get major minutes. I remember one game in particular against the Clippers. Campaign got hurt in the second half. He had to play, and James Harden went. They put him in pick and roll situations every time. They went right at him and right at him and right at him. Two things for Tyler Kolek. We know he could pass. We know he could run the team, all that stuff. Can he make his outside shot consistently enough? Can he play good enough defense to stay on the floor? Yeah, if he does that, let's say that he's adequate or somewhere around league average at those two things, the Knicks will be fine. And that's a win because now you have a young player that you're not paying a lot of money that is able to play that traditional backup point guard role. We're asking, can Tyler Kolek step into the Malcolm Brogdon role? We'll see. If he can't, and it's really necessary, it's going to be interesting. The concern, I think, for everybody here and for everybody in the Knicks is what happens if Jalen Brunson goes down?
Yep.
What happens if Jalen Brunson's out for 15 to 17 games like we saw last year? Do you trust Deuce McBride as your starting point guard? Do you trust? I know everybody's going to say no to this. Do you trust Jordan Clarkson? You start at the point guard position. I see your face, JL. I had to say it, though. I had to say it. Do you trust Tyler Kolek in there? And it's like you don't have. I think what you don't have anymore is you don't have that steady hand.
Yeah.
That you with Brogdon, you knew that guy because even in the preseason you could see it when Brogdon came in. Maybe not so good on defense, but in terms of offense, running the team, he was good. You like, okay, that's a guy I could trust. The problem right now is when you look at the roster after Brunson, who do you trust to do that?
Nobody.
I think Deuce can do it in little spurts. So if you're asking me, is it a problem? Like, I like to do things on a scale of 1 to 10. How big of a problem do I think it is? Probably somewhere about a 5 or a 6. I wouldn't be tripping on it just yet, but it's something that could rear its ugly head. Last thing I'll say is depth is cool. It's really good until it's tested, right? Like until someone gets hurt and then you're like, okay, like what do we really have here? So, I think time will tell. I don't think that's going to comfort anybody in the fan base. I see it doesn't comfort you, Jay Ellis, because you're thinking about what if Jordan Clarkson starts. And
I got questions.
If Jordan Clarkson start one day, I am texting you.
Oh my gosh.
How you doing?
Check on me, please. Let's check.
Yeah, so I think it. Listen, I think this is what I'll say. It's a great opportunity for Tyler Kolek. It's a great opportunity for Tyler Kolek. Like if he wants this, he's got to take it and do the things that he needs to do to stay on the floor. That's what I can say for now.
I'm gonna pass it to Ryan real quick, but I just want to say two short things. All right. I feel like Tyler Kolek's jump shot will come around. I'm buying the jump shot. I'm buying the jump shot long term. I am not buying the defense, though. The defense, I am selling on the defense. We're going to have to hide him. Listen, if Jalen Brunson ever goes down, we're going to have to hide him like we do Jalen Brunson. That's how it goes. That's how I see it in my brain. But I do feel like the jump shot will come around eventually with reps. Ryan G, man, I want to get your thoughts on the point guard situation.
I wouldn't call it a dire situation at the moment because although the Knicks don't really have a reliable backup point guard that can run an offense and things of that nature, I do think the Knicks can probably do it by committee in a way where it's like, you can start Deuce at point guard and, bring Kolek off the bench, something along those lines, or if you have to use stagger minutes, like, okay, if you have to start Kolek in place of Brunson, then what would you do is you would try to like stagger the minutes of the starting lineup. You wouldn't put Kolek and Clarkson in the backcourt at the same time. You wouldn't do that because you're going to be compromised defensively in the backcourt. So you might have to, do a situation where it's like, okay, Kolek's out there, Clarkson stays on the bench, keep our defensive guys out there like, Bridges or somebody like that and pair them up with the other bench players or whatever the case may be. You can always have to keep like maybe 1 or 2 starters out there with a bench unit, defensive guys to kind of, cover up those defensive holes that, Kolek may have or whatever the case may be. And although, we're not a fan of Clarkson really running a team, I do think I do like Clarkson as like a secondary playmaker because he has shown in the preseason so far that it seems like he's kind of buying in with Mike Brown's system. Like he's still gonna chuck shots. Like that's Clarkson. Like that's his personality. But I think he's showing that he's willing to reel it back in a bit with the team the Knicks have because he sees the vision that Mike Brown is trying to implement with this team, and he has shown that he is going to be more willing to pass the ball. It's not going to be every time he runs up the court, it's going to be just chuck a shot here, chuck a shot there. Right. So I don't think it's a dire situation where it's like, oh, alarm bells are ringing and we have to get a backup point guard immediately. I think it's something where it's like you go through the season, you pray to God that Brunson doesn't get hurt, but you try to evaluate as the season goes on, like the times Brunson's on the bench, how's the team operating and things of that nature. And if you see, like, as the season goes on that, okay, when Brunson's on the bench, we really don't have a guy out there to really run the team that's, effective on both sides of the court. It's either, we have to put Kolek out there, then we have to hide him defensively, or we got to put Clarkson out there, and then, Clarkson not really a true point. So I just think it's something where you just evaluate as the season goes on, and if you feel like you need that backup point guard, then you address it at the trade deadline, or maybe you pick up somebody off waivers.
Might be Mikal, actually. I don't think about it. Mikal might do a lot more ball handling if Brunson was out. Now I think about it.
Yeah, so I just think you can do it by committee for now, then just evaluate as the season goes on, and if a move needs to be made, you make that move later on.
I feel like this is a Fritz conversation. Whenever it's talking about moves to be made, Fritz, I know your trade machine laptop is open.
It's
it never closes.
It's smoking. No, I think beginning of the season, I think the Knicks are going to look at what they have first. I don't think we're in a situation where you have so many assets that you just jump the gun. You have to see it first. I think December 15th opens up the league where a lot of people who signed this summer are available. I think they'll wait till at least that date if they had to make a move.
So Pacome is out.
For now, I have different thoughts than you guys on that.
Yeah, I already know where you're going, and that's not happening.
But I think it's just going to be by committee until then.
I heard you.
Yeah.
What you thinking, Ebony? I already know Ebony's by committee. Ebony's always preaching ball movement, play movement by committee. I'm pretty sure that's what Ebony's gonna say.
Yeah, when you have the amount of talent we do, you don't need to dribble the ball, the air out the ball. Like that's just it. When you have the screen setters like of Mitch and Huck is showing that he's a screen setter now too, like setting good solid screens. When you have those type of players, yeah, definitely, because I can get my players open even without dribbling, and then if you add the movement of the ball, now you can't identify that that's Mitch over there because we moving it like that. That 0.5 rule is real. So they got that much time to make a decision. That's normally what Mike Brown's system does, the 0.5 rule. And we talk about the 5 out, but a lot of his systems are right, like 4 and 1. It could be 3 and 2 at times, with the movement. So it's not always 5 and out. I just think with the ball handling, it won't be as big of a issue as we think it will be, because you do have other people who can do it. Everybody is not going to do it for a long extended period of time. That's why Mike Brown and his system works, because everybody gets a chance. You might get a chance at the top of the key. Mikal might get a chance at the top of the key. OG might get that chance. So now it's less. It's like, okay, what are they doing now? The pace and the space, y'all, will be enough for I believe, as the second and a committee. We didn't run plays until maybe about the last game or so, right? When he had the rookies and the other people and they tried to run, he was running stuff more so.
Right. Yeah.
Other than that, he was just trying to set the tone, maybe action here, action there. So people were getting down on Deuce because he had some turnovers. It was the handle was looking a little shaky, but that's not the string that Deuce is going to have. You get what I mean? Because they're trying to find out where people are best at right now. So Deuce is not going to have all the free reign to just beep pop boop every time he wants to. It's going to be more Princeton offense. It's going to be the flex. There's going to be all these things that help your players look better. and on top of that, you have Jalen Brunson and Cat that they have to wonder about because they're not in front of the offense anymore. Or Deuce won't be in front of the offense anymore. Your shooters won't be right there. They have to identify who is who, and that's hard when you're doing movement and with both the ball and the people. Pause. So I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue as people think it is.
Okay, so everybody's happy with the way things are going with the offense. Dexter, do you feel like there's any place where we might struggle?
I'm a little concerned about the bench defense. That's probably where I'm a little concerned with this team. Now, how Mike Brown mixes and matches maybe some of his starters with the bench, right? Is Mikal playing a little bit with the bench unit? Are we seeing possibly some lineups where OG plays with the bench unit too? I'm wondering about that to help out defensively. I do agree with Ebony made a point about Huck earlier and how good he is with setting the screens. I think Huck is going to be a revelation for this team because they're going to, especially with the double big lineup they're playing, they're going to need good minutes from him. Yep. I like what I've seen from him. I like how he is running the floor, the screen setting, the rebounding. I think he's going to get more confident. There's things he still can improve on defense. But I think if he emerges as like a legit backup center for this team, that's huge. I'm just a little bit concerned with the defense. You know, Clarkson's not a good defender. Yabusele's okay in spots and can be better. So that's where I'm a little bit concerned. If I had one concern about this team right now, it is the defense off the bench. I think that's it. Like, I think that unit is going to be able to put up points and how Brown mixes and matches them, but how they defend against other like really good second units is going to be really key to me, especially now with everything we're talking about, where you maybe don't have a primary ball handler that you trust as much, right? That may be the thing. So how well that second unit defends, the guys I think I trust out there to defend is Deuce and Josh Hart for sure. We'll got to see how the rest of the other guys do. I like them offensively, but we got to see how they do. So if that's my one concern with the team that I have right now, I'm trying to think if I really have another one. I think slightly another one is, because we didn't see enough of this through the preseason, is are they going to get up? They said they want to get up more threes. Are they going to get up enough threes, and are they going to shoot them well enough? I think that's another concern for me overall offensively. I would like to see them get up more threes, but my thing about getting up threes is, sometimes people get on Boston for this, and I think unfairly, one of the things I've always liked with the Celtics, even though I think they did at times, and it hurt them against the Knicks last year, they went to the well too many times. Yeah. They generally generate great three-point looks because of how much talent they have and the way they're able to space the floor. The Knicks at certain times when they go 5 out should be able to do that. It's about the quality of the three-point looks they get. If they're getting quality looks, then I'm for that. Don't just get up threes to get up threes. Get up quality threes. That's what you really want. The ball movement should dictate getting up quality threes. So are they getting a lot of quality threes? Are they getting open shots? That's kind of want to see. But again, I think the offense is going to be a little bit of a work in progress. But you know how this goes. You guys are going to do your post-game show, and after 3 games, there's going to be some game where the Knicks only score, 99 points. They still get the win, and somebody in the chat is going to be mad because the offense is not looking like it's supposed to already. Mm-hmm. Like, we know this is going to come, right? Like, the offense is not going to be a well-oiled machine coming out the gate. I think people got to be patient, but I understand we're all New Yorkers here. A lot of us ain't patient. So I get it. But I think how the offense look by the time as I said before, JLS, by the time we get to that 25-game mark, which is usually where I like to start evaluating the team, I think how they look by then will matter a ton.
Yo, for me, it's the non-Mitch Robinson minutes. It's not even just like the Yeah, it's not even like the bench defense. It's the non-Mitchell Robinson minutes. This is why this is a little bit of reason why I kind of started like my Jemison Hive, which is like me and 4 people right now. Shout out to y'all guys.
No, I'm part of that. I told you I like him a lot.
Are you part of the Jemison Hive? Okay, 5 people. Let's go.
You know, if you a defender, I'm defending you.
Oh wait, hold on. The Trey Jemison Hive is what do you want to see from? You want him to play? You want more playing time?
You know what it is? Know what it is? It's not. He's not some like phenomenal like center prospect where he's going to drop 20 and 10. I just know that defensively we need a big to stop things. Like he could even be rebound better, but like we need a big to stop things. And when it comes to the way he defends vertically, the way he defends without fouling, and his length, it seems like he's ahead of the curve when it comes to that. So like I know right now he's looking the 2-way, so I'm not sure how many games he can actually play during the season.
50.
He can play 50 on a 2-way?
Mm-hmm. I believe it's 50. I'll double check on that. I'm pretty sure it's 50.
Okay, well, this is 50 games, and then then cool. But like that's why I don't think he's gonna be some big money player. I think he's a good stopgap where the defense won't completely fall apart when he's on the floor. That's really what it is.
I agree with everything you just said, Jay. I was huge on Jemison even earlier before, because I seen like his like you mentioned the verticality, just being able to contest without fouling all the time. Like his effort and energy makes a difference. He'll come into a game and instantly make impact. Does the dirty work with no problem. You need those are the players you want to keep. Like you can impact the game without having a ball at all. I need you. I need you. And I think he can push it. I don't want to say those words, so I call it unfortunate situations. So if unfortunate situations happen, he's somebody that maybe hold it down for a little while, like more help than hurting your team. And that's cool. I'm cool with all of those players that help the team more than hurt. Whatever that is, just star in your role and whatever we need, and you got a fan in me.
Exactly. We lost Dexter, so I'm not sure exactly what happened, but hopefully he'll be back soon. We'll just keep the conversation rolling until he gets back. All right. But yeah, like I agree with you, man. And I love Ariel Hukporti. Ariel Hukporti to me offensively is more talented for sure. Yeah, like Ariel Hukporti is offensively more talented for sure. But I feel like even though he might be a more overall talented player, I feel like Jemison's fundamentals defensively fit a little bit more what we need for the way this team is constructed today. I think that's where it's not even that's the best way I can put it.
Nah, you summed it up correctly. I definitely feel that way too.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think, Lee? Lee haven't said anything in a minute, man.
Oh, real quick about the Ariel Port, because he likes to jump too. You know, he's young, so he still doesn't. He jumps at every little thing right now. So I think definitely. But yeah, go ahead, Lee. My bad.
I got a hot take, Dexter. Listen to these names on this list. All right, James Harden, SGA, Nikola Jokic, Steph Curry, Kate Cunningham, all offensive engines that have high usage, constantly on ball, lead in usage plus minuses, that have no viable backup that does anything close to what they do on the bench. Yet all of those are expected playoff teams, and more than half are championship contenders. So I think we are in the same position that almost every other contender's in, with maybe the exception of Cleveland. When Darius Garland sits down, you have a very solid backup in Lonzo Ball that slots into that lead guard spot. But every other team is trying to win a chip, including OKC. When SGA said, you had Cason Wallace, who's a catch and shoot three-point shooter and an on-ball defensive hawk, but does not have playmaking in his game. So you can win a championship without a backup playmaker on the bench. But what they all have to do, all of them, is play defense. That, to me, is a great conundrum of Tyler Kolek. Can Tyler Kolek play at least average defense? As if he can't, and I have said this I'm sure the whole panel is tired of me. You have 48 minutes of compromised defense at the point guard position when Karl-Anthony Towns half a game is playing the 5. To me, that is untenable. Not having a backup that's a Malcolm Brogdon is not untenable, but having 48 minutes of compromised on-ball defense is. And if Mitchell Robinson's missing games and being held out of back-to-backs and is injury prone, and then after him is Hukporti, this is where it becomes combustible. That's where my real issue stands, is not having – Tyler Cole can run the offense. I got no doubt about that. Even if his 3-ball is not 38%, say it's 35, 36, you can live with that. All those things are tenable. But 48 minutes of compromised defense at point guard, I don't care how many charges Jalen Brunson runs, I don't care how better he gets on defense, you are still compromised in pick and roll coverage. That to me is where the real issue lies.
I don't even feel like that's a hot take. I feel like I feel like you're right on that. I think this is why a lot of us, and I saw some people in the chat saying it too, and a lot of us I think feel Mitch is the second best player in the team because of exactly what you're saying.
Exactly.
It's not second best player in the team, second most important player on the team.
Yes.
I think that's what we're saying in terms of value. It's what he cleans up there, and you're right. And I think that exact logic is why Mike Brown went with the double big lineup. I think it's that exact logic right there, right? That's what hurt the Knicks in the playoffs, particularly against the Pacers, where they were compromised at point guard. Their two best offensive players were the two worst defensive players. You can't have that, and they got exposed. Mitch helps clean up a lot of that. This is what the vision of, I think, a lot of how this team was built around, having Mitch, having two elite offensive players, having two really amazing wing defenders who could challenge for first or second team all defense this year. If that's the reason I believe this Knicks team could be a better defensive team. I think everybody looks at last year and they're not realizing, again, this all hinges on Mitch. I want to be very clear about this. This all hinges on Mitch and Mitch actually playing games.
Yeah.
This hinges on all of that. If he's available, that's how this defense is better, because his availability is his best ability. And it will help this team a ton, I think, in where they could be. So the Knicks last year, I think they finished, was it 14th in defensive rating? I'm thinking with a healthy Mitchell Robinson, Mikal Bridges more comfortable in year 2. OG Anunoby more comfortable as a starter who gave you 71 games last year. Okay. Yeah, now this team, I think, could take another level, even with Brunson, even with Karl-Anthony Towns, because Cat's not having the responsibilities that he did at the 5 last year. He's not playing in drop coverage, which we all saw was a disaster, and that did not work for him. So that was one of the things I really looked at what Mike Brown did with this team defensively. That was really good. So yeah, I really do think the point you're making is like, you're right. That's why the Knicks can survive without another playmaker, traditional playmaker there at point guard, and can get it done by committee. Now, if you see Jordan Clarkson running the point a lot too much, you might have to go check on Jay Ellis because he might not be well. You know what I'm saying? You might have to go check on him. But check on you too, Ebony. Yeah, but like I agree with the point that you're making, Lee. I think it's a good one, and I think it speaks to the value of Mitchell Robinson, man. And I think, knock on wood, hopefully Mitchell Robinson can stay healthy. Listen, he's motivated to stay healthy. I think he's looked more spry, if you want to say it, more springy in the preseason. I thought it was interesting how they kept him out the last couple of games. I don't know how much of that was for protection. I found that interesting.
That's suspicious to me, Dexter. I don't know. I was watching the putback, and I felt like he said he was injured. I
will tell you, some people I spoke to, you're not alone in that. Some other people think it's a little bit cause for concern. It is. I see why it's suspicious. It was interesting. I use the word interesting because I don't really know what to call it. Like, is this just you being overly cautious, or is there something he tweaked? But they weren't saying that. Mike Brown hasn't said that, but the Knicks haven't always been forthcoming with the medical information.
Exactly.
To me, the paradigm's not around Jordan Clarkson. To me, it's on. Here's another hot take. Gerson Yabusele is the biggest question mark for me. I advocated hard for him to be on the team, but the defense has really been underwhelming so far in preseason. He is a guy that might have to bite the bullet and have games where he's rotated out, specifically in the playoffs, for a Trey Jemison or my main man, Mohamed Diawara, taking his spot minutes and providing defense if Mitch is not available. You need to fortify the defense, and Yabusele has to show he can be a better defender at the rim.
All right, the Diawara Hive come out.
The Diawara Hive is alive. I've been seeing this the last couple of days.
That's me, baby. That's me.
Hive
Let's go.
Dexter, when we drafted him, I said another defender to defend. I love Mo. I love what he brings, and yeah, definitely believe he can do spot minutes towards. He's going to earn that during the season.
I will say this: you guys are asking a lot, not you specifically, but asking a lot of some rookies that have not played in the league to do a lot. I don't know. I think spot minutes.
Yes.
Listen, if they're there to be given, here's the thing. This is the difference. If those minutes are there to be given in certain situations and opportunities, not wishing injury upon anybody, do I think Mike Brown will give those opportunities? Absolutely. I do. Do I think you should count on Mo Diawara or Trey Jemison? Although I do like some of the stuff you said, and I think there are reasons they got two-way contracts, and I did correct myself. Yes, it's 50 games you could play on a two-way. 50 NBA games you could play. I don't think you want to bank on that, is what I'm saying.
I think Trey's gonna play. I'm not gonna hold you, yo.
You think he's gonna play?
The only reason if they're holding Mitch out from back-to-backs,
he has to.
That means Trey and Ariel have to play, because that means somebody has to be a starter, and you need a big off the bench.
Look, I'll say this: they got to protect Mitchell Robinson, right? If I told you right now that Mitchell Robinson didn't play in any back-to-backs this season, but played every game that was not a back-to-back, any Knick fan would sign for that.
Yep.
That would put him at about 67 to 70 games, something like that.
Yep. We did the math the other day. Mm-hmm.
You would sign for that in a heartbeat. And I told you, hey, I can also guarantee you that he does all that and he's healthy going into the playoffs. And he looks like the Mitch you want to. Shout out to East Blue Drew. He said Tim's not here. The kids are free. Dex free. What's up, East Blue? But like, I think you would sign for that in a heartbeat. I am a little concerned with the stuff for the preseason. I hear you, Jay Ellis, but I think if Mitch is the Knicks have to do what's best for the team and what's best for Mitch. And I think if Mitch is with that plan, he knows it's best for him. Here's the other thing about Mitch. Mitch wants to play as many games as possible. He's trying to get paid. He's trying to get that contract extension or the next contract, right? So he's motivated. I like having guys on the team that's motivated. I love that. Love that. You don't want too many guys on like a 1-year deal or something, but I like guys who are motivated, and I think he's motivated for something to play. I'm rooting for the guy, man. I hope he stays healthy. Because I think it helps the Knicks a ton. Ebony's so happy. But you make a good point. In those games, JLS, you're right. You're gonna have to see Hukporti, who I do think is ready for a little bit more. I think Hukporti's a little more ready than some people realize. I really do. And if, to your point, it's no surprise that Trey Jemison made the final roster and getting the two-way contract he did, because they know they'll need another backup to use in the situations that you're talking about, Jay Ellis. And I think they may have liked some of the things they saw from him in the preseason. I thought it was interesting. He started. I wouldn't read too much into he started the final preseason game. But I think that some of Mike Brown wanted to give him particularly an extended look, to give Mo Diawara an extended look as those guys got two-way deals. I think that was part of it, to see how they played off of certain guys. And for the most part, I know with Charlotte, I thought both those guys held their own at times defensively. They had some communication issues from what I haven't rewatched that game, but from when I was watching live, they had some of that. But yeah, if Trey Jemison is some guy who can come in on nights when Mitch sits, the 12 or 13 times you might need him a year, okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm saying.
And that's good for him to get that experience. That's I know East Blue Drew was just joking with me about that, but that is kind of true, right? Like, that's the point, is that can you rest guys and then give them minutes, right? So that they can learn from those situations. Those are the little minute things that I think Knicks fans were asking for, that you could see this year. That is a difference in development and how you can be on your way to trying to win a championship.
Great. And also, too, it's like, Josh Hart has back spasms. So it's
See, I
like,
think
okay,
that was one of my concerns.
yeah. So it's like when we talking about Diawara spot minutes, I'm more so looking at what is the health of Josh Hart. Like he has a bad finger and back spasms. Back spasms is another thing where it can reoccur. So now when you're looking at the bench, you're looking at a bench of guards. You got Deuce, you got Clarkson, and then you got Shaman, right? And then so now you're like, all right, do you want to go small all the time? Or do you want to at sometimes match up and get a wing in there? And that's what I was like, and that's when you start to think, okay, if there's times where we want to match up with other teams and you want a wing, then maybe you go Diawara. Not saying he's going to play big minutes, but I feel like,
yeah,
I do want to note, Jay Ellis. I noticed something that you did here. You are totally passing over Pacome Dadiet. You just went right past Pacome Dadiet, right to Diawara. I just want to notice you went right past him.
Absolutely right.
You're done with Pacome Dadiet.
I am not done with Pacome Dadiet. I just know that Diawara is more of a ready. He's ready. He's more ready. Like,
wow, you think he's more ready, huh?
He plays more NBA ready defense.
I agree with that. The knock for me on Dadiet is sometimes he still looks lost defensively on rotations. The shot, I don't worry as much, and I know it was against the Wizards. He hit his first 2 threes and looked good. His form looks great. I don't know why he hasn't knocked down more. That's really the thing I'll say about Dadiet. Dadiet, people got to watch this more. He moves very well without the ball. Extremely well without the ball. If you watch him on offense, he's always in the right spot. He knows where to cut. He's good. He just hasn't hit the shots, and then the defense, sometimes he's lost. And I think that's what hurts him for the playing time. So to your point, Jay Ellis, sometimes for some coaches, especially a coach like Mike Brown, who sometimes gets lost that he is a defensive coach first, what's going to get you on the court? Playing some D, right? And so I see your point in what you're saying. Will say this, though. If Mo Diawara gets on the court before Dadiet because he's playing more defense, Dadiet got to feel some kind of way, which is fine, man. It's competition. You got to do something about that.
Good.
Right? I'm just saying you should feel some kind of way and being like, I was drafted higher than this dude the year before. You know what I mean? Like, but what are you going to do about it? It's just like anything else. You can feel whatever way you feel, but it's like, what are you going to do? And so I like Dadiet. I don't think the Knicks should move him. I think he's a good talent. I still think he has room to grow. And I think the Knicks, where they are in their championship chase, they got to hit on some of these young players. But maybe that's Diawara, though. Here's the thing. Look at where we are, guys. We are having a conversation. I'm not saying that anybody's being crazy, whether it's Lee or anybody here, that we're talking about Mo Diawara or Trey Jemison. But we actually are talking about it like we believe they can get minutes because, like East Blue Drew said, the kids are free. You know what I'm saying?
The kids are free.
And that's good for the fan base. I think when they could think and say, okay, if there's a situation that calls for this, I have some faith that these kids could develop and get some minutes if needed.
Bay-Bay's kids. Let's go.
Oh, man.
We don't die, we multiply.
Yeah, we also saw that the Knicks have invested. We see in the last few weeks, they've kept adding developmental assistants. Yep. So almost everybody has their own assistant. So the Knicks aren't abandoning the kids. They are still investing in development.
It's a great point. It's a great point, Fritz. And I think anybody, I don't care what sport it is, but I think you want your organization or the team you're rooting for to be forward thinking and trying to think about, especially in this apron world that we're in, how do you win in the margins, right? And I think this is where you're going to see a lot of things from this Knicks team. That's what they wanted to do. I think that's why the Mike Brown hire was made. I think that's why, they moved on from Tibbs. They wanted to have more flexibility in what they wanted to do. So, and develop the kids. I think that it's not a 2 timeline things. It's just to be a good team now when they're this close to the second apron, you got to win in the margin. So yeah, you got to hit. If you can hit with a Trey Jemison or you can hit with a Mo Diawara, that's huge. That's huge if they're even close to NBA rotation players. It's huge.
I agree, man. Listen, Mo over Pacome. I'm sorry, he had 7 rebounds, 3 deflections, 2 steals last game. He only hit a couple of shots, but he's active body, man. I like him. I like him a lot.
You're done with Dadiet. I see.
I'm not done. He's just on pause. He's younger.
He's on pause.
He's on pause. Go in the G League, run up and down a few times, get some shots up, come back more ready.
I don't know. I think Pacome Dadiet, when we drafted him, we knew it was going to be a multi-year project. He is still on that timeline. Exactly. I don't think he's disappointed us in any way.
He's 20 years old. He's where he's supposed to be. I'm with you, Fritz. I'm with you.
I'm not giving up on him. He's just not ready yet. Just put him back in the oven.
Yeah. I agree. I was big. That's the rookie I was the most big on. But between Pacome, Kolick, and Huck, it was Dadiet. I see he has the tools. I seen that he does a little play creating. I seen the defense effort on defense, the size, the jump shot, the form is beautiful. To me, my biggest concern with him is his temperament. Mike Brown's conversation about him knowing he's big, it kind of reminded me of another French player of ours that I had really believed in, and I was so wrong about.
I was wrong too.
So that scares me when it comes to temperament, because that's just something you can't teach. You got to have it or you don't. That's just something you have. So that's my biggest concern with Pac. Like in the biggest moments where you shrink, I don't feel that way about Mo. Like I don't feel that way about Mo. I see the instincts there. I see the help rotation. I see the everything on defense. It looks like that's his wheelhouse, and you can use him as a specialist. That's somebody at any given point. If you're having a problem with a player, if OG and Mikal just don't have it this time, you be like, all right, in the playoffs. I'm saying, maybe in the playoffs, like what the Pacers did to us with the Tony Bradleys, and you get what I'm saying? I can see Mo as that. And not only does he do defensive, I've seen some playmaking from him. So now you know about the defense, but now he can give you other things while giving you the defense. The going to the rim we saw. We don't know if that translates with the type of competition of a starting unit, but I liked it. It was no bad. It was the confidence in him. And again, pick and play. I like Kevin McCullough too. Those two people, Mo and Kevin, I think they can help us right now.
Agreed.
Pacome, I love the tools. Again, I still believe in him. But I think the grown man strength has to kick in. Just the game slowing down. That needs to happen for Pacome, and it's not there. Same thing with Kolick. I feel Mo, Kevin, and maybe even Huck, because Huck won me over. I wasn't too sold on Huck, but I see the improvement even with Huck.
We are real Knicks fans, man. We talking about the 20th man on the bench for ad nauseum. We are Knicks fans for real. Championship aspirations. We are arguing down the man who might see 15 minutes this season combined.
Yeah.
But
can I talk to the chat real quick? Because we got a Wolverine in here that been sniffing too much anonymity. What's how you say it? What's the thing that killed Wolverine? I can't say it. But he been sniffing too much of that. Because he talking wild crazy about a man that can't be stopped. A man that supposedly can't score 10 points. But he has JB Bickerstaff in timeouts telling us we gotta do something about Mitch. Y'all gotta pay attention to Mitch. Y'all gotta pay attention. Can't score 10 points, but he the focus of a timeout.
You want to piss everybody off, talk bad about me.
Like, come on. It's 2 sides of a basketball court. It's more than scoring. There's only one ball. Some person only has the ball one time. That's it. What are you gonna do when you don't have the ball?
Sometimes you got to know to not feed the trolls. You know what I mean?
Like, no. Wolverine wilding. You wilding.
Ebony is not here for this.
Don't talk about her sons and Mitch. All right, don't do it. All right?
There we go.
we're a good team because I started it in the chat. I was going back and forth with him, and Emily just finished it right there. He just finished it.
This is what parlays do. Put that last quote that he did. This is what parlays do. This is what it is. 5 points per game. 6. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with the men numbers. Men lie, numbers don't, but they could be deceiving as hell. Stop box score watching. Okay, put the calculators down and stop box score watching because there's so many stuff that doesn't get put in stats. Ask me how many times that somebody turned around because they seen Mitch. Ask me how many times defensive mistakes of his teammates he created. Ask me how many times we got extra possessions because of this man. Ask me how many times Jalen Brunson got open shots because of this man. Ask me why we need him playing next to Cat for him to be his best self. Like, stop playing with my guy already. Like, come on. It's play after playoff after playoff after playoff. Stop playing with my guy already.
Facts. You know what? I don't know who Wolverine roots for, but he might be a hurt Pistons fan. You know what I mean? He might be a hurt Pistons fan. Like, Ebony, I agree with everything you said. Mitch's value, some of it does not show up in the box score. How many shots does he alter? How many balls does he deflect? How many possessions does he keep alive? So if someone thinks Mitchell Robinson is overrated, okay. I would say I don't think you probably watch the Knicks or basketball as close as you think you do.
Facts.
But some people are box score watchers. Ebony said it right. Some people are box score watching.
We need.
No, we're not saying that Mitch is the greatest center of all time. Like, nobody was saying that. We were just saying, a lot of us here agree, and I think people in the chat would agree. We said he's the second most important player to this team's success, which Lee has been saying on Twitter for the last couple of weeks. And that's the point, right? He is the second most important person to this team's success this season, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a crazy take. I don't think that's super spicy. I just think in fact, you want to talk some data, his on-off numbers support this. Like, this isn't crazy. Or I would say just look at the playoffs last year. His small sample size, we didn't see him a lot during the regular season, saw him in the playoffs. The numbers support it. Like, the Knicks defense was, I looked this up the other day, it was something like 6-7 points better defensive rating when he was on the court than when he was off the court. Like, okay. Now Wolverine didn't bring that stat up.
Yeah. He was the bottom of the league in defense, and then top 10 when Mitch got healthy. Like,
we talk about the Mikal. We talk about the Mikal. I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. I just want to throw in something right quick too, because for somebody to really say Mitch is overrated is kind of crazy to me if you were watching the Knicks last season, because throughout the season last year, we saw how many times that starting unit would get thrashed on defense. There were so many games where the Knicks had to come back in the game because they would just fall behind early because Cat is not a good rim protector. He's not good in drop coverage or none of that. So teams would just kill the Knicks on defense time and time again with that starting lineup. In the regular season, Knicks got swept by the Celtics 4-0 without Mitch in the lineup. In the regular season, I think Detroit took 3 out of 4 from the Knicks in the regular season without Mitch in the lineup. As soon as the playoffs came and Mitch got inserted into the starting lineup, Knicks beat the Pistons in the playoffs. As soon as Mitch got inserted into the starting lineup, Knicks beat the Celtics in the playoffs. The defense was night and day from the regular season to when Mitch was inserted into the lineup. So to me, and then he want to bring up the fact that in the Pacers series, he didn't play good defense. There was a whole lot of issues in that Pacers series, way above Mitch in that series. Mitch is not the reason why the Knicks lost that series to the Pacers. There was way more issues than just Mitch. So I mean, for a Knicks fan who claims to watch the games and not notice something as simple as the Knicks defense being night and day with Mitch in the lineup and not in the lineup is crazy to me. To me, it sounds like he's just a Mitch hater. That's what it sounds like.
And he's questioning who's the second. He's second most. He says, "Are you kidding me?" Well, okay, Wolverine. I'm gonna ask you this: who, in your opinion, is the second most important Knick on this team? Because if you're gonna tell me he's not, then tell me who is. I just want to hear. Now, if someone says to me, "Hey, I think Mikal Bridges is the second most important Knicks player," that's fine. You want to tell me you think OG is? That's fine. I wouldn't say that opinion is crazy, but to act like us saying Mitch is crazy, what? Like, I just you if you're gonna criticize, you got to come with a solution or give me your counter to it. Let me at least hear you. Because if you come out here and tell me Jordan Clarkson is the second most important player on this team, get him. I'll just say, Fritz, get him out the chat.
I would assume he would say Cat. I would assume.
Hold up.
He said Cat. He said Cat.
I want to talk about a second most important player on a championship team. I want to listen to these stats right now. 6 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, 2 blocks a game. Does that sound like stats that jump out? Those are stats that Wolverine was talking about in the chat about Mitchell Robinson. And Mitchell Robinson's numbers for the career are 8 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, 2 blocks a game. Almost identical. The first one I gave, Ben Wallace.
Oh, he said Ben Wallace.
4-time All-Star, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, champion. In my opinion, got robbed of Finals MVP. Should have went to him instead of Chauncey Billups. Offense wins over. I understand it's more impressive on a TV to watch a shot go in instead of a shot being altered without a block. But Ben Wallace was the second most important player on the Detroit Pistons, and the stats are almost identical for their career.
Do not
4-time All-Star, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Not as injury prone as Mitch, but when he's active and when he's there, he's just as impactful as Ben Wallace. That is a fact. We have won 2 playoff series because of Mitchell Robinson. Come on, bro. Just admit you don't watch ball. Man, someone put those bum sirens up. I've been tired.
Wait.
Hold on, real quick. I'm sorry. I got to jump. Because he talking about he only averages 1 block. I'm gonna hit you with the greats, y'all. I don't want to make this a Mitch fest, but I'm tired of them people coming at my guy and he just does what he does without having the ball. Like, how do you hate on somebody that don't need the ball and still impacts the game the way he does?
It Wallace.
It doesn't matter.
I said that all the time. If you look, that's why I said the game is going full circle. That's why everybody is trying to get a rim protector right now. The game is going really full circle. They need that. You need the player. You look at all history. You look at Jokic. They need to pair him with a person that does dirty work. So they got Aaron Gordon. They got the Browns of the world. They needed somebody to do the dirty work. They had all the offense. They just needed the dirty work. Like, you have to stop with the Mitch. The great Bill Russell, which is what Mitch learned because he jumped at everything. Mitch used to get a bunch of blocks. He used to get a bunch of fouls too. But he used to get a bunch of blocks.
Great point.
Right. So the great Bill Russell had once said, you don't have to block every shot. You just got to make the people think you're going to block every shot. So when people talk about his block numbers, it's because he's really protecting the rim. Why jump? Mitch don't even jump anymore. He's just like this. Tiptoe. Even with rebounds, he's tiptoeing to get it. He's just outreaching folk. I'm gonna use my strength and outreach you. Like, what are we talking about? We're talking about a smart defensive player. And if you're talking about rebounders, it's a lot of times he just uses his presence. I'm gonna box out these 2 people. You're gonna get the rebound and start the break. It is called basketball. It's like dominoes. There's a chain of events. Start stuff, and then like y'all missed the other part. Stay out the box scores and watch basketball, please.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna add this right quick because now I'm kind of mad because it's like, why we give this dude the time of day?
I'm like, listen,
I'm gonna defend every chance I get, y'all.
No, because this dude in the chat said that offense is most important. So clearly he's gonna think anybody. So clearly he's gonna think anybody who's not an offensive weapon is gonna suck.
He's been watching
Kevin
Durant.
Why we give this dude the time of day? He thinks offense was championship when it's defense. So it's like, why we give him the time of day? Let him talk. Just let him
talk. Listen.
I'm a Kevin Durant fan too, though.
Listen, I feel you. Everybody ain't going to see the game the same way we see the game. He don't see it. That's on him. We know the importance of it.
One last thing.
Everybody don't see the game the same. That's okay. That's what I say.
To be fair, he said he thinks Cat is the second most important Knick on the team. I would say I think Cat is the second best offensive player on the team. I do think I wanted just to respect to Wolverine. I do think there's importance in how Cat plays this season. I'm not saying that. And if you want to put him at number 2, okay, I can understand that, right? I don't agree with you, but I don't think you're crazy for saying that at all whatsoever. That's the last thing I will say.
Absolutely. I think Mitch is important for us to win a championship. I don't think we win a championship without healthy Mitch. And so this brings me to this. I want to ask you this other question. What do you feel, Dexter, are the keys to the Knicks winning a championship this season?
Number one, man, because it's the key for everybody. I think sometimes it's get talked about enough is health, man. You got to be healthy. You got to be playing basketball at the right time. You got to be healthy. I think the other keys is, can they be a top 12 defense or trending towards that by the end of the year? I think that's key. And like I said before, I think they'll be a top 8 to 10 defense. I think they'll be better than people think defensively. And I think if they can maximize this offense, that is sustainable through the year, because they were a top 3 offense early on last year, and then they sort of cratered down to middle of the pack from January on. If they're a strong offensive team like they want to be, I think if they have that balance of being like a top 3 to 4 offense and a top 8 to 10 defense, this team to me has all the impacts of the makings of being a championship team. But a lot of it is, look, you got to be good. You got to be consistent on both sides of the ball. You got to have health. You got to get a little bit of luck. All those things have to happen. But for me, it's about this team sticking together, believing in the process, playing the best basketball at the right time, and being healthy. Championship's not won in November and October and December, right? Even though some of y'all out there are going to be going off the rails when they have a 3-game losing streak and then fire Mike Brown and all this other stuff. Oh, we should have never got rid of Tips. I guarantee you that's coming in the chat. Guarantee you. I guarantee we'll see it on all our shows. I guarantee you.
It's definitely happening.
We might even get Lee to say it for all we know. Who knows?
Man, I've been a Knicks fan. I've been doing these post games for how many years? It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Right. You know what time it is already. So I think those are the keys. I also think one thing I put is, as much as important I think Mitchell Robinson's to the defense, I do think Mikal Bridges having a strong season is important too, both ways. I think he will. I think he's more comfortable. And the biggest thing for me with him is going to be, what's his free throw rate looking like? If he's getting to the line at a higher rate than he was last year, he's not shying away from contact. If he plays defense the way he did in the playoffs last year, I think the Knicks are going to be really fine. I really expect big things from him and OG this year defensively, as I do Mitchell Robinson. So I think if a lot of those things happen, I think this Knicks team will be fine. And this is just a great opportunity for the Knicks. The East is down. I don't think there's anybody in the East they should fear. I think there are teams that can give them a little bit of problems and push them.
Yeah.
Atlanta. But I don't think there's anybody the Knicks should fear. And I think it's not wrong for Knicks fans to be confident saying that this team can go to the finals. I think they can, for sure.
I agree with all those too. I want to add too, like, I'm always curious how when it's crunch time and the game is on the line, who can make a play outside of Jalen Brunson? Yes, we want the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands in the final moments as much as possible. But I keep going back to these Indiana series where they were keeping the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands for the last few minutes of the game, to the point he got frustrated and he headbutted a dude. I don't know if you guys remember, he headbutted somebody.
Yeah.
That dude is still walking around, which is amazing that he survived that. But we need to find a way to get into offenses and to score even when Jalen Brunson doesn't have the ball, or at least find a way to work our offense so that even when he doesn't have the ball, we can work it so he can get the ball a little bit later. So to me, that's one thing I think we need to see in the playoffs, is getting offense going in crunch time without Jalen Brunson having the ball in his hand, and even just working a play where even if he doesn't start with the ball in his hands, we get the ball in his hands with enough time for him to do his work.
I will say, I think that's where so much of the process of what they'll go through offensively in the beginning of the season that Lee and I were talking about in the beginning of the show is going to matter. How they're able to move without the ball, how they're able to increase their pace, how they're able to call plays for Jalen Brunson, on out of bounds plays that we've seen a little bit through the preseason, where he can get a lot of catch and shoot opportunities. I know Mike Brown has talked about that. I think if the Knicks offense will really be cooking, if we're seeing more catch and shoot opportunities for Jalen Brunson, particularly earlier in games, so he's not as exhausted late. I think there's a world this season where Jalen Brunson's usage can go down. This season. Usage for him is probably always going to go up during the playoffs, but during the regular season, I think we can see it dip a little bit, which will be better for him, better for his body, better for the team get other guys involved. I think there's a segment of the fan base, and I've seen this on a couple of shows I've done already, is like, I'm concerned about that with the ball being out of his hands. And it's like, no, that's not what you want. You don't want this heliocentric ball,
right,
where it just is in one player's hand all the time. I understand we've seen players get to a finals like that, but then how much do they burn out? The teams that win now in this league are teams that can move the ball around. Yes, Luka got to a finals with the Mavericks, and Luka's one of my favorite players, but Luka got burnt out against a really good Celtics defensive team that could shut that down, right? Yes, SGA is a primary ball handler for OKC, but they got J-Dub who can do stuff with the ball in his hands. They've got other guys that can do it. They got shooters around that can help. Having a diverse offense, the league is too skilled nowadays to just go in heliocentric isolation ball. This ain't the 90s. This ain't the early 2000s. Like, I know some of y'all like it. I know you revel for those days. That's not how you win in the league right now. That's not happening. So to your point, Jay Ellis, you're right. Does Brunson need the ball late in the shot clock? But if it's the point that I think you're making is the offense was too predictable.
Yeah.
And you're right. And that's what I think is different. You got to have the variety, the diversity. I keep bringing up those words. But I think if the Knicks build on that, become better at that through the season, it'll be better for them come the postseason.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say. I know, Ryan. I got more, but I want to give somebody else some time to eat.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
I have. Can I go now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't know if it was my go, but yeah, like it was a great take. Dexter just had like Sacramento. I've mentioned a bunch of times when Mike Brown was in Sacramento, he didn't have defenders. So what would he do with the defenders? Like now he has the offense and the defenders. So I'm excited about that. With the offense though, a lot of the movement because he does believe in kind of I can't stand the Kentucky Fried Chicken man look alike. But Mike D'Antoni, he has a lot of that, where it's early offense, trying to catch the defense off guard automatically. And also with the defenders that he does have, we don't have to solely rely on half-court offense anymore. They're going to push and make the defense really be offense all the time, trying to push. Even on made buckets, we're going to try to push that. I spoke about it before, the flow offense, which is normally early in the shot clock push kind of offense. So I think that helps a lot with the lack of ball handling or whatever that we have that people think we have. And also just the movement and the space and pace makes the mismatches. I know we were talking about Yabu, but I think that's one thing that Yabusele gives us that we didn't have, a constant post presence, the physicality, meaning you get on that block. We need a quick little 2-point. You could hold your own, hold your spot and get us a little quick bucket then and there. So I know we're a little off and on about Yabu, but I like what he brings because it's something we really don't have. He brings that physicality, that bam type of in your face type of style, and that'll help with the rest because, like we just mentioned, that V word that I can't say, I'm gonna just say assortment. We got an assortment of talent, right? We got an assortment of talent, so it works. Everybody does their job, brings something different, and together that looks crazy. If you could have a big man that can give you post presence and then kick it out to Cat in the 3-pointer. That's crazy. And then on top of that, you're going to have the movement and the setting of the screens because in Mike Brown's offense, there's really movement on both sides, the strong side and the weak side. So you catch people catch them off guard or whatever. And in doing that, I really truly believe that we'll be like kind of like Felicia Lee showing off. I see you saying the V word. But you also just get. I think we'd be like Golden State Warriors when we do the natural load management and oppose, and we also just what I've said and then Tibbs ruined. Like you listen to the game. If we truly listen to the game, then it's going to be times where Mitch plays maybe a little bit more, he plays a little bit less. The same thing with Mikal or whatever. I really feel like that year when we talk about Steph's stats and we say they could be bigger because he didn't play a lot of fourth quarters. I think that's kind of the vibe we get with this Knick team if we stand on team principles defensively and offensively, like I think we will.
And let's see, anything, Ryan? Any keys? I got more keys. I'm just trying to get everybody else go.
They're basically keys regarding the season.
To win the championship.
Well, I mean, for me, there's a lot of keys. I think most importantly is, the defense holding up, because you're gonna need defense to win championships. So I'm gonna be interested to see what Mike Brown does as the season goes on, because I think I think Dex said earlier about the second unit defensively being a concern. If we go in the season, we see that second unit is really struggling on defense. Like, what is Mike Brown gonna do? Like, is Mike Brown gonna start staggering minutes, where it's like he keeps like a couple starters in and put bench guys out there and kind of like, stagger minutes, to where it's like, it's not like a full bench unit out there. You have some starters out there to just keep the team still set defensively, and have, a couple bench guys out there. Like, what is he going to do with that as the season goes on? And, and I just think a lot of it is health as well. I mean, guys got to stay healthy. Can OG go through another season where he's playing like 70 games in a season and not missing significant time? Can Mitch go through a season where, he's playing 65, 70 games and not missing significant amount of time? So I think as long as the Knicks stay healthy and Mike Brown just gets the rotations right, where, he knows what lineups work, what lineups don't work, when the playoffs come, who he can depend on, if somebody is not doing their job and they're not really living up to, not really playing up to par, will he pull that guy out and give another guy maybe deeper on the bench a chance to really show what they can do? Like, things like that. I feel like, as long as the Knicks just stay stout defensively, because the offense is there. The Knicks have players that can put the ball in the basket. Like, that's not a concern. Like, the Knicks are going to score the ball. So I think the main concern is defensively. So as long as they're able to, just keep everything intact defensively and guys stay healthy, the Knicks have a chance to really compete for a title. The East is very open this season. There's not many teams that's going to really compete with the Knicks in a series. Like, yeah, the Knicks are not going to run through the East. I do think, like, facing certain teams, like, if they go up against the Magic, maybe the Magic might win a couple games in this series, or, the Pistons are going to, probably push the Knicks as well. Maybe Cavaliers might win a couple games, or whatever the case may be. Like, Knicks are not just going to run through the East, but, they should be able to beat any team that they go up against. The concern is going to be in the finals. Who are they going to face from the West in the finals, and how they match up against that team? But yeah, defense, health, as long as that's there, the Knicks should make a run.
You know what it is for me? Mike Brown keeps talking about the next play speed, how fast do you switch from offense to defense. Transition defense killed us last year, man. Pacers bombed us on threes on transition. We didn't talk. We didn't match up correctly. Like, transition defense for us this year is going to be a big deal. If he can fix that, he's a freaking miracle worker, because that was probably the worst part of our defense last year. It might have been the transition defense. And just Cat in general. Like, I know Cat and Brunson both defensively kind of struggle, but the thing with Cat is the mental lapses with Cat in big moments killed me. I know there's been a lot of talk about Cat and Tom Thibodeau playing Cat in drop coverage. Sometimes Cat would play drop coverage when he wasn't supposed to play Cat drop coverage. And I think people forget that sometimes he was dropping when he wasn't supposed to. There was a game where Mikal was pushing him up on the three because he wasn't doing what he's supposed to do. He'd be having these mental lapses. So, like, I'm hoping Cat's trimming down and getting better with his conditioning helps him in that regard, because sometimes when you're tired, you make those stupid mistakes. So I'm hoping that helps him out. I'm hoping the reps and practice help him out. But to me, those are the things that I think needs to be cleaned up for us to win the chip.
Yeah, I think you kind of stole my point on what it's going to take. I think buying in is a big thing this year. And buying in, I think having Mike Brown, who's willing to have those personal relationships, is a big thing. Because buying in is usually having someone do something that they naturally wouldn't want to do. And not only telling them what to do, but making them want to do it, and it's their idea. Sometimes it being their idea is the difference between it's working and not working. And I think that personal relationships is a big thing. Being talked at rather than being talked with, is going to make a difference.
Agreed. Last question. How many wins will the Knicks win this season?
I'm gonna go 56.
Oh shoot.
So yeah, I think 55 to 58 if they stay healthy. I've said 55 or 50. I'm gonna go 55. Double Nick. I'm gonna go 55.
Okay.
55 wins for the Knicks.
Yeah. Confident.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna be the low man here. Oh shoot. Okay. Lee's gonna say 60, 72.
Oh,
Lee,
God.
58.
Sheesh. I knew Lee was gonna go high
because the East is so thin and our division is so weak. Like really, when you look at our division, Philadelphia is a massive question mark. Boston got tremendously worse. Toronto is a face of mediocrity, and the Brooklyn Nets are absolute ass. So those are the teams that are going to be playing the most. We don't win most of those games. The East in itself, on a macro level, is weak. So you don't have the Pacers and the Boston Celtics that's eating up a bunch of wins. It's us, Cleveland, and Orlando, in my opinion, that are going to be vying for those top three spots, with Atlanta underneath them competing for the best of the East.
Okay. All right. Shoot, what you thinking, Ebony?
Y'all know me. I'm Ron Brownston, and I'm jumping out the window every year. So, I'm gonna go 60. I'm gonna go big 60. And not even.
Oh my gosh! I know somebody without Big Lee, but
I jump out the window every year. So I'm gonna go 60. I believe in this team. We got enough, even if unexpected situations happen. I really believe if we do it as a committee, we have enough. And the defense, we have enough defense to make it ugly whenever the offense does struggle. So I know Katie and a couple of people in the chat think offense is greater, but when the shots don't go in, you know what is always there? Defense.
People gonna be
you
mad.
know what makes offense? Defense. Offense can't make defense, but defense can make offense.
I feel you. What you thinking, Ryan?
Yeah, Dex pretty much stole my number. I was thinking 55 as well. I think the Knicks are gonna have a pretty good season. I want to say 60, but I'm not 100% on board that they'll get to 60, so 55.
All right, Fritz, what you thinking?
I'm thinking, 55, 56. I just don't think there isn't a guy to like. I think Mikal's focus will be less on defense, and outside of Mikal, I don't see anybody who can like shut off somebody's water at the guard position. So I think 55, 56.
Dang, I got the lowest one.
What's your number?
52.
Oh,
52.
Yeah. I don't feel like Mike Brown is going to be playing. I feel like Mike Brown is the opposite of Thibodeau. So I feel like he's not going to be like, yes, we playing the starters all these games. And like, I feel like he's going to be resting Mitch back to backs. He's not going to be pushing his starters all the time. He's going to be playing a lot more of the bench. I feel like he's going to be experimenting a lot throughout the season. So I don't think it's going to be like a big, like 58 win type of game season, because I think he's going to be experimenting for the playoffs. And I think when we get to the playoffs, we're going to just whoop everybody's ass. But I think the season is going to be a lot of experimentation, a lot of, we didn't even get that many reps in with the starters in preseason. So I feel like that has to happen. So I don't know if it's going to be like close to 60. I don't see that, but I feel like it's going to be in that 50 range because it was this is kind of weak. But I think it's going to be experimentation. There's going to be games where guys are sitting to preserve legs for the playoffs. I think to me that says around like 52.
Yeah. I think we so deep, Jay, that even with off games for other people in the way that Mike Brown normally runs this team, that we're gonna get by a couple games, even when the starters maybe or unfortunate situations. It's just that we have such a deep team that you just plug and play. Like you learn your spots, and you open, we pass it to you type vibe. He simplifies it. So I think we got a chance at all those numbers. Which everybody says for real because of it. And it seems like Mike Brown reads scouting reports.
Gotcha. All right. Yo, one last question to Dexter and Dexter only. I'm only want to ask Dexter this question.
Uh-oh.
All right, Dexter. The Knicks, they get to the championship, they get to the finals, and they lose. Right?
Oh, I know what's coming. I know what you're gonna ask.
Next summer, Giannis is available. What are you doing?
This is going to be the question of the season, and for a lot of people, if the Knicks lose and they get all the way there, and look, if the Knicks get to the finals and lose, that is progress. They went further than they went last year. Would I personally go after Giannis if I was running things? The answer is no. Now, a lot of people out there are going to be like, "What? You're not going to go get the best player in the East?" Blah 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 blah. First of all, here's a couple things. In this second apron world we're in, the Giannis trade is a hard trade for the Knicks to make. It's a little easier for them to do it next summer than it would be now. Like, I don't see this happening during the season. But, and we did a whole episode on this summer and what they would take for the Knicks to get Giannis. And you're going to have to give up, it was like Cat, Dadiet, and Kolek, and like the Wizards pick that's protected. That's probably going to convey to 2 seconds that nobody wants. So that's not happening. Or some combination of like OG and Josh Hart and like picks. The Knicks don't have a lot of picks to give. I just don't think the Knicks have enough attractive offers to put together to get Giannis. Again, they have another pick to play with at next offseason, but like I don't think they have enough. And then my other thing is Giannis is a player I worry a ton about as he gets older. He's a player who already doesn't shoot the ball that well. I'm not sure how good his game is going to age with him. I don't think he's going to age that great. Giannis is a great player. Giannis is a future Hall of Famer. All that other stuff. But his game is solely based on athleticism. And as I know some of y'all love athleticism, and I do think some people in today's NBA overrate athleticism. I'm not saying athleticism doesn't matter. I don't think it matters because the game is way too skilled now. And I saw somebody in the chat say the game was more skilled in the 90s and 2000s. Like, were you watching basketball then? Because no. You might have loved the game more. You might love the physicality more than it was then, but more skilled? Nah. Like, come on. Like, there's just no way. Giannis is still a good defensive player. He's still at his peak. Would it make the Knicks better defensively? Yeah, but again, this trade all that comes down about who you're giving. And I know a lot of fans out there, they don't care. They could care less about depth of the team. They just want to get another star in. They don't care about any of that. But again, in today's NBA, in today's second apron world, look at all the teams. Look at the 2 teams that were in the finals last year. Teams that can go 11 deep, right? Look at what the Knicks had to do to fortify their bench. The Knicks are better off keeping their depth and their continuity and making tweaks on the margins and developing young players than chasing another star. That you can't, like, I just don't see that working where you're going to gut your team and give away either an OG and a Josh Hart and picks or even another player in there, cut your depth just to get a superstar in Giannis. But does that really make you better? I don't think it does. And so I know that won't be popular with everybody, but I don't think it does. I don't think it makes your team better.
Hey, man, I had the same take, so.
Me too.
The same take.
That's good. That's good to know because I know there's a lot of fans out there that are like, you got to go get Giannis. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. But listen, here's the thing: because you asked a very specific question, J. Ellis, if they lose in the finals, or they lose before that, that is going to be the talk.
Oh yeah,
because Giannis wants, it's now out there through Shams reporting. Giannis wants to be here. That's going to be the talk. So I don't think we're shying away from it. In fact, it's going to be the talk if the Knicks lose. You know what I said about Knicks lose 3 games in a row and people going to be calling for Mike Brown?
It's happening.
They lose 3 games in a row. People going to be like, yo, they got to trade for Giannis now.
It's happening. What's happening?
I think sometimes people are enamored with names and athleticism, and I just don't think gutting your roster to get one more name in there makes the team better. I just don't see how it makes the team better in today's NBA. I don't.
Agreed. All right. I know we can have another hour show if we argue that, but I know we had Dexter here for a long time, so I want to get him out of here. Thank you so much for keep coming back to the KOT show to bless us, man. We always have great conversations.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Also appreciate you just having all of us on the show and kicking it with us. Yeah, shout out to Dexter, man. All right, so yeah, yo, Dexter, let them know they can find you, man.
You can find me on all platforms at D Henry TV, hosting New York Got Game. We got a lot of stuff coming this week, as I know everybody does. I know you guys too. We dropped the episode today about best Knicks bets, over-unders, and stuff like that. We got a special guest joining me tomorrow. Can't say who that is, but the special guest. We'll have a Knicks Cavs preview. We're going to do a watch-along party on Wednesday for the opener. Basketball's back, man. I'm excited. Check out New York Post Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe there. Appreciate all the fans that rock with the KOT show that are here in the chat. I see so many of you guys on other platforms. And as I always say, and I will say every time I come on the show, please, please, please continue to support independent media. Continue to support diverse voices. It's the Knicks community is a beautiful community. We uplift each other. We have discussions. You know, we were talking with Wolverine today. It's all love, man. We ain't, you know, nobody's hating on everybody and anything like that. It's all beautiful. But like, I think it's great when I see people giving the super chats to you, Jay Ellis and the crew, and everybody just supporting and all the love. That's beautiful. So just continue to support independent media. Voices matter. And yeah, man, thank you guys for having me. I'm sure I'll be on the rock with you guys in a couple more post games this year. Sure. So, and I will have you guys on New York Got Game. I appreciate y'all as always. Thank you.
Appreciate it. If you gotta go, you can go right now. If you have to go,
I'm gonna roll and watch the end of this Giants game, which got real crazy.
All right, go ahead, man.
Go look at that. All right, guys, be good, okay?
All right, man, salute.
All right, Dex.
Peace.
All right. Yo, give it up for Dexter. Always, man. Dexter is a real one. Gotta give it up for Dexter. One of the realest dudes on here, straight up. All right, what am I? Oh, here we go. All right, yo, Lee. Where can they find you, Lee?
Check me out on Twitter at _Lee Escobedo, LeeEscobedo. Gonna drop one of the most fun things I've ever written, which is not just an analysis on Cooper Flag, but the concept of a great white hope for the Guardian. Came out this past week. Got some more fire on the way this week. Always appreciate the support, not just from the KOT family, but also the chat as well for reading and sharing my work. Thank y'all.
Absolutely. Oh, also I forgot. Shout out to Silk Sutton who sent the 499 super chat. It says, "Hi fellas, does Yabusele being heaviest player on the team, 283 pounds, worry you since he's been playing all summer?"
Yes. I told y'all, man. BBL.
I'm cool with BBL, Yabu. BBL, Yabu. I'm cool with that. We need a physical. We need a force that can't be moved down there. I'm cool with that.
It don't bother. It don't worry me. I feel like that's just how he is. If he starts getting slow, then that'll be one thing. But
yeah,
he seems like he's active. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, though. We'll see if I change my mind in a month. All right, Ebony, let them know they can find you.
You can find me here after every KOT show. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and Mad Knick Fan. And for the WNBA, we got the Liberty Hour, and we on hiatus and Bowling with the Queens. But other than that, that's it.
All right. My man, Mr. NBA Economy, aka Calculators and Pitchforks. Let them know they can find you.
I everybody know where to find me. I just want to say a statement before we go. I'm looking forward to this year. I'm feeling entitled. I paid into this Knicks fandom since the 90s. And we were never the hot team. We were never the one to root for. But I think we're finally here. I'm going to enjoy the season. Let's go.
Yeah, we paid our dues, Fritz, man.
Mm-hmm.
We paid our dues, bro. all the eras for the Ewings and John Starks and all. Yeah, you paid our dues. I wasn't here for the championship year. I feel like I started watching Knicks like kind of in the 80s, but my memory wasn't good enough to remember anything I was watching. But I agree with you.
My first sports heartbreak, y'all, was actually Patrick Ewing. He's the reason I know everybody's big on Patrick Ewing, but he in the Be Forever category, he did. So
for real. All right, Ryan G, let me know if you can find you, sir.
Oh boy, you can find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT. You can also find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIRG is CHILLIN. I do got some quick shout outs and I do got some quick broad picks as well. It looked like a broad pick might be developing as I'm talking at the moment, but first and foremost, I want to shout out the chat right quick. Dorkosaurus Rex, he had me laughing with the comment earlier saying that dudes can't guard white point guards. That made me laugh. So big up Dorkosaurus Rex for that comment.
That's funny.
Wolverine, it's all love, my guy. Trust me, the debate was good. You know, it's all fun jokes, debate. You know, it's all good, my guy. And the broad picks, and now the broad picks official. First and foremost, my first broad pick is going to go to those damn New York Football Giants. Because they were up 26-8. I'm doing the podcast. I'm looking at the score. I'm like, all right, Giants got this. I was like, yeah, Giants are in a good position. They got this. We're about to go 3-4. Just for them to blow the damn game and lose 33-32.
Giants.
Damn, yo, Dexter, you left to see that. That's crazy.
Yeah, every time the Giants, I do the little Giants quote. Giants, help us, God. Remember that?
Oh, damn. Your movie quote memory is crazy. All right.
And my other broad pick goes to Sergeant Sources because my guy on Twitter retweeted a tweet about, Precious being cut and said Precious is better than Yabusele. And I'm just like, okay, first and foremost, if you're talking defensively, I'll admit it. Yes, Precious is a better defender. Yes, he is. But the difference here is that although Yabusele is not on Precious level defensively, he offers offense and he offers defense. He can contribute on both sides of the ball, which Precious cannot do. Precious can defend, but he's not giving you nothing on offense. There's a reason why whenever he played with the Knicks last season, defenders would just back off and be like, yo, Precious, you can shoot the ball. We just going to back off you. And every time that man shot the ball, we were hoping and praying to baby Jesus that he would knock in the shot. And the majority of the time, that shot was not going in. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that. And, Yabusele, he might not be the best defensively, but he's at least decent. He's competent. You know what I mean? He's satisfactory. You know what I'm saying? As long as he doesn't play the 5, because if he plays the 5, then it's barbecue chicken inside of rump roast. So, I mean, that's the only difference. But yeah, I just want a broad pick right there too. My broad picks are done. I'm cool.
I got some broad picks. I'm waiting for you to set it off, Ryan. I was waiting for your broad pick, but I got two. I got two broad picks. My one is Matt Barnes and his response and quote about Mike Brown. Matt Barnes. I know people listen to your podcast. I get you played. You was a dog. You were the type of player I like. Just do everything. But I remember you driving to go beat up somebody because they was with your ex-wife. It wasn't the wife, it was the ex-wife, wasn't it? So that's what I remember you most for too, honestly. But the comments he made about Mike Brown was absolutely crazy, especially since I still can't find that quote, but it was a player who just recently said that he's learned more under Mike Brown than he's learned over any other coach. That when he went there, he was teaching him principles and new things that he didn't know.
I literally just saw that right before the show started. He
Mm-hmm.
was saying
Yeah,
that
I
Mike
remember.
Brown isn't a leader of men and he's a pushover. Ron Artest and Kobe used to do whatever they wanted to do. They would sub themselves in and out of games, and he was going ham. He was going ham.
Well, next for clicks, I get it. I haven't really seen Matt Barnes in rotation on my time algorithm, so I get it. I get it. I get it. You got to say that he's not showing up after the Cams and the 106 and Parks and all that. He got to do what he got to do to get shown. I get it, but that was terrible, bro. Pick for Matt.
Bruh.
At least let him show what he can do with the new team, and especially when he was with his old team. Let's look at his resume. Like the very first year, then he went coach of the year with Sacramento, had one of the best offenses in the league, right? Again, he just never had the defenders. He never had the defenders, and that's his wheelhouse. So now he has both. Let him show what he can do before you just talking. Matt Barnes been on some hating stuff for a minute right now, though. I don't get it. All the smoke is looking real suspect. They looking suspect, but whatever. And another one was. It was somebody else I had as a bro pick. I just gotta find it though. But you can go ahead because I don't.
Yeah, I mean that might be his experience. Like to be fair, Ron Artest, especially back then, probably not the easiest person to coach. Ron Artest is a hard personality to coach, and then you got Kobe on top of that. And then they just won a championship, and they bring him in there. The situation wasn't an easy situation for him to navigate. In general, going to the Lakers. So like being a leader of money and stuff, okay, maybe, but maybe that situation just wasn't really set up for him to really win also. So to each his own. We'll see what happens with Mike Brown. And
I got a bro pick, man.
Go ahead.
All right. Feedback, criticism is very important across the board. I've gotten roasted on the show by Jay, by Ryan, by Ebony for having a bad take. I think that is part of the game.
Yeah.
My bro pick is America for electing Donald Trump. To have an AI video where you are in a crown outfit, a royal outfit, flying a plane, and you're dumping human excrement, feces on protesters, essentially Americans that you are supposed to represent and to lift up and defend. When you're inciting a division, American against American, I can't think of a worse example of leadership in my 40 years of being an American citizen. It's absolutely disgusting, debased. It's abhorrent to portray yourself as a president, sitting president, taking a giant dump on other Americans. I did the jokes, man. I did it. Trump, MAGA, and the left, they hate each other. All fun and well. Like, you have the right to feel how you feel. But the sitting president, leave that to the trolls and Reddit. You doing that yourself from your executive office is absolutely embarrassing for the country of the United States of America. It makes us look like a bunch of AI slop lemmings, and it makes us look like Reddit trolls. And we should be better than that, but we're not, which is why it's not Trump that is my bro pick. It's America for electing this man twice, which is an absolute embarrassment to the entire country, an embarrassment to him as in the executive office.
Bruh.
Can I add
I'm not going to add to that because we're going to be here for another 4 hours. All right.
No, I just want to add real quick to the AI thing, and then also I don't know. I'm sorry, I think so. If y'all didn't know, if about recently that they scrubbed the young African American men. It's like a group of about 5 or 6. They scrubbed the original video off his TikTok to then repurpose it and AI it for what they wanted on their Homeland Security site. So now these young men, young black men who are just doing a TikTok trend, they have a target on their back. But I just want to say, because it was saying that they basically was going after ICE. That's what they were saying. But it was really a pro-America thing. They was talking to a country telling them it was a trend. If you want us, you're going to have to go through us type of vibe. The Homeland Security put it so these black men were saying if ICE gonna come after, if the ICE wants to ward us, they're gonna have to come through us. This came from a Homeland Security. Like, so now I'm gonna tell something that my parents had taught me. You never bother anything or person that is minding their business. because there's a reason they're that calm. There's a reason they're minding their business.
Yep.
Because once you provoke them,
They go
you deserve everything you get. And that's what it seems like they're doing. They're trying to do everything to provoke a certain type of demographic. And to do this to this young man, and he's from Brooklyn, I believe. This young man from Brooklyn, minding his business, being a kid, and now he's scared for his life. That infuriated me. I have a son. You get what I mean? I have kids. That made me really upset. I'm just going to tell people, don't bother people that are not bothering you. It's not smart. They can't. Don't listen to the government. They're in their White Houses. They have their security. You get what I mean? Don't let them cash a check. Your ass, you can't cash. And that's just it. I'm gonna leave it there.
I feel you, man. I feel you. There's a lot of stuff going on crazy that is just too much for me to even talk right now. That's why I've been actually been leaving. I've been number one on that, but I'm been leaving it alone for so far. I'm gonna leave it alone as long as I can. But at some time I know I'm gonna say something because I'm me. Because I'm me and I care about the people I'm around, the people I love. When things affect the people I love, I have to speak out about it. It's just it is. But for now, I agree with y'all. And yeah, man, that's the show. That's the show, guys, though. Thank you guys for watching. I definitely appreciate everybody who supports the show. I definitely appreciate Dexter. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe. We here after every game talking Knicks basketball. We will be here Wednesday talking Knicks basketball, Friday talking Knicks basketball, and every game talking Knicks basketball. All right. So be here or be square. For you guys watching on Twitter, if you follow us, if you're liking the show, go to our YouTube, youtube.com/the Knick of Time Show. Hit that subscribe button. If you're here watching right now, you did not hit the like button, and you've been here sitting here for 10, 15 minutes, hit the like button, man. Just show us some love. All right. That's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, the Knick of Time Show on Facebook, and we're on TikTok as well. All right. So that is the show. We are out of here. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out of here.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.